About that. Another busy day for Nebraska lawmakers. 70 new bills introduced and 2 proposed constitutional amendments.
Nebraska Attorney General also speaking today on his legislative priorities. Dave Zavolinsky at the Alert Desk with those details for us. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Jacqueline Bryan. Attorney General Mike Hilgers held his press conference this morning to highlight 2 bills that he wants prioritized this legislative session. The first is being introduced by Senator Kathleen Kauth of Omaha. He says it would put an end to the synthetic Delta 8 crisis in our state. According to Hilgers, these products are untested and they are harmful. He's previously sued several Nebraska businesses for mislabeled products. The AG says either Senator Kauth's bill gets passed and these items are removed from shelves, or
if that doesn't pass, we are going to dramatically increase the scope, size, and speed of our litigation campaign, which will unfortunately cost more taxpayer dollars, will take more resources, and unfortunately also will create more pain for the stores themselves.
The second priority bill is from Senator Tanya Storer of Whitman. It would create a facility someone needing emergency protective custody could be placed in during a mental health crisis. This would be a pilot program in a rural area of the state. It would likely be funded by grants. Reporting from the Alert Desk, I'm Dave Zavolinsky.